system.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is
Howard J. Dingers. And this is 3 Count Review.
welcome to Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw edition. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is KOAK Howard J. Dingers, and welcome to 3 Count Review, the Monday Night Raw edition presented by First Round KO. We had a actually great episode of Monday Night Raw tonight. I'm not going to lie. I actually enjoyed this. As with every Monday Night Raw, with it being 3 hours, I did check my watch a couple times and think, oh God, there's an hour, there's 2 hours left. But I think that's just going to happen no matter what. It's a 3 hour show. It's going to happen. But yeah, it was actually a fun show. And that might be a credit to the opening segment and who was in it. But I really enjoyed this Raw, and that doesn't happen very often. You can ask any one of my friends, anyone. You can go back to any of my Raw reviews. I tend to not like Monday Night Raw. They just haven't been putting on a good product, and they lack stars, and they lack those big pops. They lack interesting stories. But this week, they're changing it up. They're doing a few new things, as they have done for the past couple weeks, and Raw has benefited from it. So I'm very excited for what Raw has become and what it's going to continue to be. So let's get started with this review. The show opened up with Stephanie McMahon, and she welcomed the crowd to Raw, blah, blah, blah. And before she could say much more, Becky Lynch entered to a huge reaction, of course. When won't she? Stephanie continued speaking, but a cut... what? Oh, and cut to a replay of Ronda's promo from last week, blah, blah, blah. Interestingly, they didn't include the part where Ronda said that she could kill Becky. That was probably off script, and they probably didn't want to include that anymore. But yeah, they just didn't include that. Rousey was booed throughout this segment anytime that her name was brought up. Stephanie was impressed that Lynch was smiling at the end of the promo by Rousey, like the fact that she was up in her face and still smiling, and she's very impressed by all that. And Lynch said she had a reason to be smiling, and she would slap the head off of Rousey at WrestleMania. And Stephanie said she was looking forward to it because of her history with Rousey. Obviously, the feud that they had leading up to and concluding at WrestleMania last year. Stephanie pointed out that Lynch's knee brace. Stephanie pointed out that Lynch had her knee brace and a limp, and asked if she was okay. Lynch said she's fine. She could still slap the head off of anyone on the roster, even if she was on one leg. She said she won the Rumble with one leg, so she'll be fine. And then they showed pictures from the Rumble where Lynch won, and she noted that Lynch has been refusing medical attention. Lynch said she didn't want any medical attention, and this kept going on throughout the whole thing. She said, I'll win, even though I'm hurt, I'll still win. It doesn't matter. I'm just not going to go see any doctors. Lynch continued, and she said, I know what you're doing. She said she was a glitch in the plan, and she said she fought to get where she is, and she claimed Stephanie was trying to hold her back because she never had to struggle for anything because Daddy handed her everything, which is pretty true. And then Lynch said she was going to Mania, and there was nothing Stephanie or any stupid doctor could do about it. Lynch was great here, of course. Stephanie said it was easy. Just go see the doctors. They clear her, and then she can compete. Otherwise, unless her knee is worse than she's letting on. Lynch said Stephanie wasn't going to take her moment away. Stephanie said she would have to suspend Lynch until she sees a doctor. Lynch warned her not to suggest it again, or else. She said, I will not be liable for my actions if you say that again. But Lynch wouldn't comply, so Stephanie suspended her indefinitely, which, stone cold, right? So Stephanie turned around and started leaving. Lynch grabbed her, knocked her out with one punch, started beating her up, and beating her up. Tried to put in the disarm her, but her knee gave out. A bunch of officials ran down. Lynch fought off a couple, but Stephanie managed to kick her in the leg and escape. Heel move by Stephanie. I enjoyed that. Corey said it was self-defense. Good job, Corey. Keep it up. And Lynch limped off to the back, surrounded by officials. And then after the break, they came back and Lynch was still being escorted out. She was approached by Ronda. Ronda ranted at her for putting the Mania main event in jeopardy. Rousey said she should keep things professional because she knows they have a fight to promote. But what Lynch just did wasn't professional. And doesn't promote the fight. Yeah, she kept saying our show, our fight, our Mania, our main event. They're pushing this main event thing hard, so I'm going to, from here on out, assume it's the main event. If it's anything else, I, much like everyone else, will be very disappointed in WWE. But I loved this segment, and I personally love the story that they're telling with Becky Lynch. And depending on what they do with SmackDown and with Charlotte, because there are rumors floating around that this is just going to be a single one-on-one match, that they've changed their mind about the triple threat. But there's two ways that they can go with this story, and either way, or they could go both. In my mind, if they go both, it'll work just as well. But at least with this story, what they're telling is the same thing that happened at Survivor Series. Becky and Ronda were about to have this great main event fight, this highly anticipated fight at Survivor Series, but Lynch got injured. And then the doctors didn't clear her, so Lynch had her moment taken away from her. And now they're telling that story again. Now she's injured again. Her leg hurts because of the attack from Nia Jax at the Royal Rumble. And now Lynch is thinking, if I go to the doctors and they don't clear me, and they say I need surgery or something, they're going to take me out of this WrestleMania fight again. And they're going to take my moment from me. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. She doesn't want to go see the doctor. She doesn't want to lose her moment. She fought for this moment. And they're trying to keep her healthy, but they're trying to take it away from her again. It's so good. And it's by the hands of Nia Jax again. It's a really good story. Now, if they wanted to go down the triple threat route, it just adds another layer to the story because rewind back to August in SummerSlam, Charlotte shows up out of nowhere, inserts herself into this title match, makes it a triple threat, and beats Becky for the title. Now you can do that same exact story with WrestleMania and Ronda Rousey. Becky has a one-on-one title shot. Charlotte shows up, inserts herself into the match, makes it a triple threat, and everyone's thinking, oh man, they're just going to give Charlotte the win again. Charlotte's going to beat Becky again, so Ronda doesn't have to get pinned. And then Becky can win at Mania. She can overcome everything. She can overcome the injury. She can overcome Charlotte. She can overcome the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey. This is beautiful storytelling. And even if they don't tell that triple threat story, I love this story that they're telling with Becky's injury. I think it's beautiful. I think it's going to work extremely well. And now the suspension is only going to help things. We saw it with Stone Cold. It's going to work. And this main event is going to be incredible. I cannot wait. Then we had a non-title match. Ronda Rousey beating Liv Morgan in 1 minute and 25 seconds. Quickly with the armbar. That's about all you need to know with it. Tapping out. Again, coming out, smiling, and high-fiving the crowd. I really don't like that. I think they need to drop that with Ronda. Especially, I think they need to turn her heel. And I don't know. It'll be interesting. We'll see. We'll see how they approach that. But after the match, Rousey grabbed a mic and yelled at the crowd for booing her from the comfort of their seats. She cut a heel promo here, which is good because I want her to be a heel. It's going to fit the story better. She's going to get booed. Might as well embrace it. And called out the rest of the Riot Squad for glaring at her the wrong way. She was ready for another fight. So Sarah Logan came into the ring and said, all right, let's do it. So another non-title match, Ronda Rousey versus Sarah Logan. And this one went a little longer. Sarah outlasted Liv, which, I mean, I like Liv a lot, but Sarah Logan's really good. So I'm glad that they at least gave her 4 more minutes. 4 minutes, 53 seconds. Most of the match happened during the break, but Rousey again won pretty quickly with the armbar after surviving Sarah Logan fury of offense. So the Riot Squad kind of backed away and, ran to the back. I guess, like, Ruby jumped up and was like, I'll challenge you, but then didn't and ran to the back. And they went back, and Dasha asked Ruby why she ran from Rousey, and Ruby was offended, and she said she wasn't running. She knew she could beat Rousey, and when she did, it would be for the title. But as of right now, her friends were hurt, and they needed her. I like this a lot. At first, I was like, wow, we're really just going to squash out the Riot Squad, aren't we? But I'm glad they protected Ruby because, obviously, Ronda's going to need something in between now and Mania. There's 2 pay-per-views. Reports are she's only missing 1, and I don't know if that's Fastlane or Chamber. I can't remember, but, Ruby's a great... It'll probably be Chamber. That's fine. But she'll be at Chamber, I'm saying. I think Ruby's a great competitor for that. I think she's a great challenger. I think she had a really good match. Same circumstance last year with Charlotte. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I think Ruby's great in the ring. So I know it's Ronda and Liv and Sarah, but I don't know, squashing out we've been doing it for what, a year and a half, 2 years now since they've debuted. I get it, but it's a little stupid in my head. I like the Riot Squad, and I don't want them to completely squash them. So then we had Charlie Caruso in the back talking to Sasha and Bayley about the recent failures against Ronda and asked if it would affect their tag match. Banks was about to go off on her, but Bayley calmed her down. And Bayley said they both took Ronda to her limit, and tonight was about tag team wrestling, which, yes, is very different. Just ask the Revival. Banks said they would make history, but then Alicia Fox and Nikki Cross, their opponents for later tonight, interrupted to let them know they wouldn't make it to the Chamber. Cross said nobody wanted to play with her, but the Fox did. She added, chaos isn't judgmental, chaos is fair. That's interesting. I kind of like that. I like the Nikki Cross character. I don't know why everyone hates on it. I can see why it's a little weird and it might need to grow on people, but I think it will grow on people. I enjoy it a lot. It's different. It's not a stereotypical WWE women's character, So I enjoy it. I think it works. I think it works better with Sanity. So I hope she goes to SmackDown and eventually does something there. But I like the character, and I thought she was pretty good tonight. So then we had a 4 corners tag match. The Revival versus the B Team versus Heavy Machinery versus Grand Metalik, stealing the idea from SmackDown. They literally said on commentary, this worked so well for Shane McMahon and The Miz that the McMahons used this on Raw to find a new tag team #1 contender. I get reusing ideas, but just flat out saying it on TV seemed a little lazy even for WWE. I just thought it was funny. The Revival, again, had FTR on their trunks. If anyone who doesn't know what that means, just Google it. I can't even say it on air. So, Heavy Machinery almost had it won, but they were stopped by Curtis Axel, who saved Bo Dallas. They were sent from the ring. The Revival won with a Shatter Machine on Bo Dallas, earning them a future tag team opportunity. Hoping it's at the Rumble, and I hope they win, because the Revival are the best tag team in WWE. Change my mind. So then they cut back to Kurt Hawkins, who was watching the match. Zack Ryder assured him that they would get a shot soon. Hawkins called himself a loser. He said he was cursed. Damaged Goods, he said, why are you tagging with me? I'm a loser. And Zack said, dude, they spelt my name wrong last week. They said on the little name card, it said Zach, but it's spelt with a K. Dude, I've been here for 13 years and they spelled my name wrong. So obviously what they did last week, I'm assuming, was storyline. I hope. If not, this was a fantastic way to incorporate it and call attention to it. I love it. But Zach was like, I'm a loser too. I was almost not on Raw last year. I was on the very last episode. They spelt my name wrong. I'm a loser. But together, we can not be losers. He said, what did he say? Ryder said they could get through this together and Hawkins' streak would be broken by them as a team. Hawkins responded in the affirmation, and like I said, Hawkins' performance was good, and I thought Ryder was good. He even added a little bit at the end. What did he say? Shoot. Oh, because he messed it up when he was explaining it earlier in the promo. When he was spelling out what they spelt out, he spelt it out right. He spelled out ZACK, but then he corrected himself and put it in an H, and then he said it again, and he acted all flabbergasted. And then at the end, Kurt was walking away, and he was like, maybe then they'll spell your name right. And Zach was like, I can't even spell it right. I thought it was really funny. Apparently, whoever wrote this, I think it's Alvarez, didn't like it. But whatever. I should probably actually look at who wrote this for future reference, but I'll do that later. I get these notes off of Wrestling Observer, by the way. But yeah, I like the angle. It was good. And like Hawkins was good here too. Angle was shown backstage. He was walking towards the ring, and he was greeted by Mickie James, Apollo Crews, and a non-dancing No Way Jose with no conga line in sight. So I don't even know what No Way Jose was doing backstage, because normally he's back there dancing. So then we had Angle in the ring after the break, and he said he's been living by the 3 I's, intensity, integrity, intelligence, and it worked out for him through better or worse. He accomplished everything he could have, from the European Championship all the way to the Hall of Fame. He said he was able to be the GM and even found out that he had a long-lost son. He said the crowd always reminded him how much I really suck. They chanted, "You suck," and he responded, "Thank you, I guess." Kurt was good here. I enjoyed this. The promo, at least. And he said the 3 I's have turned into the 3 D's: doubt, defeat, and depression. Wow. Way to make it dark, Kurt. Angle said he beat everyone in his career, and he won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. But the one opponent he cannot beat was Father Time. Everyone assumed here from what Kurt was saying that this was going to be a retirement speech, but I had a feeling that this was more like Mark Henry. We all remember the Salmon Jacket promo. Baron Corbin then interrupted and was booed heavily. He is very much hated because as much as they like to tell us that he was the reason that Raw was bad, he isn't, but he played a big part in it. And it's not really his fault. It's just, he was just put in that spot where it was heel heat for 2 of the 3 hours every week for a good 2 months. It was bad. But anyway, Corbin came out and said that Angle should have retired 2 years ago and called him a shadow of a man. Angle dared him to get in the ring so he could break his ankle in 2. Angle took off his jacket, ready to fight, but then Drew McIntyre came out. McIntyre said Angle couldn't help himself. 1 minute he was ready to accept his fate, and the next he wanted to break the ankle of a man who took his job and beat him last week. McIntyre said he saw fear in Angle's eyes when he made him tap out to the ankle lock, and McIntyre admitted Angle had no quit, and he knew he would never quit until someone put him down for good. Gotcha. McIntyre was good here, I guess. McIntyre told Portland to shut their mouths and get their cameras ready because they were going to put Angle down. They marched to the ring and surrounded him until Braun Strowman came out. I kind of saw this coming after the angles that they've been running. Strowman attacked McIntyre, and then Angle attacked Corbin. Strowman threw a fancy leather chair at Corbin. I don't remember that. I remember the chair. I don't remember it being fancy nor leather. They then ran away through the crowd McIntyre and Corbin, that is. They ran away, and Angle and Strowman stood tall with Angle's music playing. After the break, they announced Angle and Strowman against McIntyre and Corbin for tonight's main event. Another Baron Corbin match for the main event. Wonderful. See, I said that I liked this episode, but now I'm starting to turn on it again. I liked most of the show. That means I liked it. Then they aired a video package of Lesnar and Rollins from last week. So then we had the Elimination Chamber WWE Women's... What was it? WWE Women's Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Sasha Banks and Bayley facing off against Alicia and Nikki. While Bayley and Banks were making their entrance, Fox and Cross attacked them, beating them down until they were unconscious. And then we went to break and came back from break. The match was going on. Bayley was in the ring, but Sasha was still recovering. So Sasha eventually got to the apron about halfway through the match, I think. It was Bayley for all of the match. And eventually what happened was a cross tag. Nikki tagged out to Alicia, and Alicia was messing around or something, and Bayley rolled her up for what seemed like an awkward pin. I'm accounting it on the fact that it was Alicia Fox taking the pin. It was a roll-up. For some reason, it looked awkward and out of place or whatever, but, I mean, it could just be because I'm not a big Alicia Fox fan. I don't know how anyone can be. She has the best Northern Light suplex in the business, but that's about it. But yeah, so Bayley and Banks won. Banks was not in the match at all. So, cool. Oh, it says she's likely still nursing an injury. So maybe that was a way to keep her out of the match. I like it. If that's the reason, I like it. Good storytelling. I wouldn't have been able to tell. I thought it was strange that Sasha was never in the match, but no, overall, I like it because it puts over Bayley more. After the match with Ronda last week, it puts over Bayley. We all know how good Banks is. I think this is going to be good. I don't know if they're going to win the titles. I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to give it to Nia and Tamina and then have Banks and Bayley win it at Mania. But that's just me. We'll see, I guess, obviously. And I'll make my predictions in a couple weeks before Chamber. So then we had backstage. Apollo Crews was getting interviewed about Kurt Angle. It was pretty weird. But eventually Drake Maverick and Razor confronted Crews, and Maverick told him to admit that Angle couldn't win. Crews asked Razor how he got his little puppet to talk like that. He was like, do you use like little strings or do you shove your hand up his... And then he got interrupted, of course. I thought that was good. Apollo was good here. But Maverick stopped him, and Crews said... Or he said that Crews was just upset because his Olympic hero was letting him down. This was a decent segment. It literally led to nothing. We'll see if it'll probably lead to Razor versus Apollo next week. But this led to nothing tonight, so that's cool. And I don't have any faith in WWE to follow up on it. So prove me wrong, WWE. Actually, I'm not very interested in that match. You can forget about this one. It's fine. Elias versus Jeff Jarrett next. This was such a fun segment. I have never experienced Jeff Jarrett until he's came back at the Rumble and now his couple Raw segments, and he is just entertaining. I can see what all the buzz is about. The man just knows what he's doing out there. He really does have the best right hand in the business. Holy crap, his punches look amazing. Road Dogg and Jarrett cut promos before the match. Road Dogg did his DX shtick. He said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know, that whole thing. He kind of messed it up because he doesn't have Billy Gunn. So it seemed a little awkward. He messed it up a few times. He said 1/2 of your world heavyweight tag team champions instead of saying 1/2 of your 6-time, whatever. Yeah, it seemed a little off, but who can blame him? He usually does it with one other guy. Jarrett did his old routine, calling himself the world's greatest singer, entertainer, and wrestler. I can agree with one of those. They sang With My Baby Tonight again, which, again, I had to say I enjoyed. I don't know why. I normally don't enjoy this kind of stuff, but it was very entertaining. I enjoyed it. Elias interrupted. He said nobody wanted to hear them sing their song, and nobody knows the lyrics. He said their act hasn't aged well, much like them. Again, good. Elias is much better as a heel. I liked Elias as a face, but he's much better as a heel, and this was good for Elias. He wondered what Road Dogg was even doing out here, and he said, shouldn't you be on SmackDown tanking their ratings? Ooh, that was good. Ooh, I enjoyed that one. Elias said he mistakenly turned down a halftime performance at the Super Bowl to come to Portland, a town not even good enough to have a football team. This got booed. Not as heavily as he got booed in Seattle over the summer, but he got booed quite a bit. Jarrett then quoted an old rival and told him, don't sing it, bring it. I don't know who that rival is because I'm not well-versed in a lot of the history. If I had to take a guess, I would say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But I don't know if he ever feuded with Jeff Jarrett. So, please, if you know the answer, leave it down in the comments below. I would love to know. I could Google it, but I want to keep the show going. After the break, Elias was in control because it's Jeff Jarrett versus Elias. I forgot that was a match. That was announced, actually. I was very surprised to hear that. I thought if they were going to do this, it would have been a pay-per-view match, but I'm kind of glad they got it done on Raw, but whatever. It could still lead to it. Who knows? It was basically just Elias worked over Jarrett. Jarrett got the upper hand, but then Elias got the upper hand. Road Dogg interfered. Jarrett got the upper hand. Elias got the upper hand. Road Dogg interfered. Jarrett got the upper hand. And then eventually, Elias hit the, I don't know what it's called. Drift away. The drift away for the 1-2-3 victory. And then Road Dogg came in and attacked Elias from behind, knocked him down with a few punches. He did his whole, I don't even know what it is. He did his weird punches, and then he did his worm thing and his punch and whatever. And then Jarrett clocked Elias from behind with the guitar, and the guitar didn't break. Good God, Elias must be in so much pain, because much like a table, like the announce table or a ladder, it's a lot less painful if it breaks. If it doesn't break, it's just a solid. Oh God, I get that's gotta hurt. The crowd was chanting one more time because they wanted to see the guitar break, but they didn't because they're not seasoned veterans anymore. And they hit the music again and they posed. Yeah. Great segment. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed Jeff Jarrett. I think Elias is great as a heel. The match was not good, except for, the Jarrett punches and the nostalgia of it, but it was not a very good match, but I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Backstage, Dana Brooke apologized to Natalya for losing last week, but Natalya wasn't responding. Dana was kind of to the side and behind her, so Natalya never noticed her. And Dana Brooke yelled at her and said she would find a McMahon to make a match between them next week. And it turns out WWE, I feel like they've just looked into memes. Natalya was wearing AirPods and could not hear her. Now, never mind. I don't even want to. I'm an owner of AirPods and I hate these memes, but they're still funny. Yes, I have AirPods. Ooh, I can't hear Rich. Fine, shut up. It's so stupid. I'm actually broke because I own these. Thank you very much. So I guess we're going to get that match next week. Yay. I could care less about Dana Brooke or Natalya. Just throwing that out there. They promoted that Ric Flair would be on Raw in 3 weeks in Atlanta for his birthday celebration. That will be awesome. And if they're going to do anything with Batista at with Triple H at WrestleMania, Triple Mania. Good God. I expect Batista to be there, and that's where they'll start that. So keep your eye out for that. You heard it here first. He's turning 70. Good God. I'm glad he lasted this long. I don't know if many people thought he would, but damn it, he's still going. The announcers ran down what happened with Lynch and Steph earlier. Cole speculated that Lynch didn't trust Stephanie or the doctors, which is why she's refusing to see them. Yes, that's what I explained earlier. Thank you, Michael Cole, for explaining the storyline to us, because you guys are so bad at telling it to us through anything else other than you just plain out telling us. Finn Balor told Caruso that the Irish were stubborn when wounded, because it applied to Becky too. That was very good. And it seems that it seems to be going around tonight. Balor admitted he was hurt after the beatings from Lesnar and Lashley. He was told he should stay home, but he wouldn't be pushed around or held down. He said he would take the fight to Lashley, and he would take the IC championship the first opportunity he got. After Balor entered, Lio Rush and Balor... What? Oh, Lio Rush said Balor didn't deserve a chance at Lashley, and that Lashley can curl dumbbells bigger than him, which somehow I kind of believe. Lashley said Balor had a little... Jeez, I'm sorry, I can't read right now. Lashley said Balor had a title match against Lesnar and lost, and Lashley was better than Lesnar. Lashley said he could beat Lesnar in a wrestling match, in the ring, in an octagon, and in his sleep, which we all know isn't true. I did like the line, though. It was a kind of a callback to their similar fighting backgrounds. I enjoyed that. Lashley said Balor would be facing Lio tonight, and he said if he was entertained enough, he would consider giving Balor a title match. Lashley then attacked Balor before the bell. Balor said he was still good to go and agreed to start the match anyway. So we had Finn Balor versus Lio Rush. And this, I was very excited for this match. For those of you who have not seen Lio Rush on 205 Live, he is a very good wrestler. He's a very good seller, and he is just very good at being a cruiserweight. So, I mean, this was a typical match. I mean, like, it's weird because Balor was kind of the big guy, but it worked because Balor's just that good. He can work any kind of match that he needs to. So, Lio just kind of worked the gut on the, because it's been injured, the ribs or whatever they're saying it is. So, and, but Balor's good, so he kept reversing everything, and it was a very well-told match. At one point, Lashley pulled Finn out of the ring, and Corey was calling for a DQ, but then the ref just threw Lashley out. Okay. The rules of the rules of matches were played with tonight. This is the first example. We'll get to the other one later. I have a problem with how the main event ended. He eventually got up. Rush used a springboard stunner, but the cameraman missed it because he went for a fake dive to the ring, but no one was out there, so I don't know why the camera guy was going out there. I don't know, but it was a springboard stunner. It was awesome. And then he went for the frog splash, missed. Balor killed him with a drop kick into the corner, and then hit the coup de grace for the win. Lashley ran down, but Balor left the ring before he could beat him down. Great segment. I loved it. Now, before they cut to commercial after the segment, sorry, Paige came out, and this got me super excited. She came out to a huge reaction. I got really excited because I've seen rumors that she wants to be a manager. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to make her manage someone. I thought she was going to be like, here's my new client. But she just came out and said, hey, look, I'm in a movie. And then they played the commercial for the movie. And then they cut to actual commercial break. I was very disappointed. But it was good to see Paige. I enjoyed seeing Paige, so I can't complain too much. I hope she gets involved because Paige is amazing, and she deserves to be involved in something. Oh, yes. So, we had my favorite segment of the night, which I'm angry about, but it was still good. I enjoyed this a lot. So, Alexa Bliss comes out for a moment of bliss, her show that is getting very old and is on more than Ms. TV. It's too much. Do it every 3 weeks or something. Jesus, you can't do it every week. But anyway, she introduced her guest for tonight, EC3. I was so excited. His music hit. He did his little EC3 thing. I love EC3. He's so good. He's so entertaining. He came out in his gear, no shirt. He did his, there were light EC3 chants, but Bliss said he had everything going for her. He's young. He's good looking. He has a large bank account. This was so like the whole segment, Alexa was like, she was flirting with him. She was hitting on him. And it got a little weird. It was, I don't know, it was strange. But she said that he's been playing hard to get, just showing up at Raw and SmackDown, deciding where he's going to go. So she was like, hey, let me know, where are you going to go? EC3 lifted the mic up to his mouth, and Nia Jax's music hit. Well, actually, I don't know if her music hit or not. She just interrupted. And good God, EC3 is one of the best talkers on that roster, and he has not yet said a single word. They gave Lacey Evans a promo at the Royal Rumble, and EC3 has not yet said a word on TV since being called up. I just don't get this company. I really don't. Vince sees what he wants to see, and it's just bad. But anyway, Nia came out with Tamina, and Jax said she didn't care about this, and she wanted to talk about the week she had entering the men's and women's Royal Rumble, qualifying for the chamber match with Tamina when they beat Alexa, and Alexa was like, oh. And then Bliss noted that Mickie James took the loss. And then Jax wondered what was next and thought about filling in for Lynch at Mania. That got booed pretty heavily. She also brought up beating Alexa at Mania last year, which I thought was pretty great. Or beating Alexa. Did I say Alexa? I might have said Lynch. I don't know. But then Dean Ambrose interrupted. So I'm not even kidding. While this segment was starting, I was thinking to myself, wow, no Dean Ambrose tonight. I guess that means they're writing him out a storyline before he leaves. And then a minute later, he comes out for this segment. And I was like, well, this is why I don't do a live reaction or something, because that would happen quite a bit. I try to stay ahead of WWE, and it never quite happens. But anyway, Dean Ambrose comes out and he says, I'm sorry, Alexa. I didn't want to be out here. I don't want to be out here as much as you don't want me to be out here. Jax said, are you seriously interrupting my interrupt? I thought that was pretty good. Ambrose said it's best she stays away. Oh, Ambrose had words for Nia. He knew she had a crush in him, but he said it's best she stays away and told her to never come near him again. I'm surprised he literally didn't say, I'm married, she's behind me, back off. I don't know. It's weird that they've brought it up every other week before this, but now they don't bring it up. I don't know. I don't know. This company is ridiculous. Ambrose asked Bliss who this guy was. Bliss said it was EC3. EC3 was about to respond, but Ambrose smacked the mic out of his hand because they don't want him to talk. But Ambrose said he has a series of questions for him. So he asked, why is your name EC3? And where is EC1 and EC2? That was a really good one. He wondered why EC3 hung around backstage like a mute Chippendale dancer instead of getting in the ring. I'm trying to think of some of the other questions. What does EC3 stand for? Oh, he had some. I recommend going watching this segment. Dean Ambrose was really good in this. EC3 was about to respond, but then he decked Ambrose with a punch, and then EC3 just walked down to the ring, cut to a break, and then boom, match when they came back from break. Cool. It was just funny. Ambrose was good here. So then, EC3 won in 2 minutes, 36 seconds with a jackknife cover, and Ambrose acted shocked at the loss, and Cole put over EC3 pinning a former WWE champion. They're gonna squash Ambrose on the way out. Yeah, even if he's not actually on his way out, which I think he is, they're gonna make it look like he is. So either way, he's gonna lose a lot in between here and Mania. So yeah, I loved it. EC3 finally debuted. Just let him talk for gotta contain myself. Anyway, backstage Angle was warming up, and then Caruso came in and asked what it would mean to him to beat the two guys who embarrassed him the past few months. Angle looked at her, didn't respond. The crowd could be heard chanting Ambrose in the background. That's awesome. I didn't pick up on that. Caruso asked for an answer. Angle said he almost didn't bring his gear tonight. but he had a feeling he should. He said he doesn't have to fight alone tonight, and it says here in these Wrestling Observer notes, like it was a stage play, Strowman showed up at the exact moment and said it was an honor to tag with him tonight. They finished by saying, "It's true. Oh, it's damn true." It was very staged. I don't like those when people just are off camera and then they just slide in. It looks so unnatural. I hate it. We had Mojo Rawley yelling at himself again, which, I mean, again, I'll start caring about this when they start caring about it, when they actually start doing something with it, because as of right now, they have not done anything with it yet. So this company, man. So then we had Corbin and McIntyre beating Braun Strowman and Kurt Angle via DQ. Now this is where I'm not even going to talk about the rest of the match because it was okay, but it was mostly Corbin and McIntyre working over Angle finally getting a hot tag, and then he came back in the ring. But then, so here's what happened. Towards the end of the match, Kurt was the legal man again. It was Kurt and I think Corbin. And McIntyre comes in the ring to attack Corbin. And the ref starts telling him, if you lay a finger on him, I'm going to DQ you. And the commentary started putting this over too. Corbin was like, you can't touch me, you're going to get DQ'd. And then Corbin attacked him. And he got DQ'd for attacking him. What? How many times in a tag match have we seen other people come in and interfere? I don't get it. And then Corey's trying to play it off. Well, it's obvious that they were going to do this. It happens every time. What? It doesn't happen every time. It's so inconsistent storytelling. Vince doesn't even know his own rules. He makes them up as he goes along. He does what he wants to do every week. It's terrible. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But I don't even know what to say. Strowman and Angle beat them up after the match, and they stood tall after Strowman did 2 choke slams onto the steps. They stood tall, raising their hand and playing Strowman's music. That's how the show ended. I don't know. It was a weak ending, in my opinion. I get starting the show off with Becky, but wouldn't it be better for ratings if you put her on in the main event? Not even in a match, obviously, because she's injured and you're going to play that angle. But literally, take the opening segment and push it over there and make it the main event segment. Close out the show with Becky beating up Steph and getting suspended. I don't know. I don't get why WWE, like, they're pushing this as a main event, so why not have it in the main event? It's ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't understand it. But overall, like I said, I did enjoy this show. I like the EC3 stuff. Dean Ambrose was very good in that segment. Revival are the number 1 contenders for the tag titles, as they should be. Ronda Rousey looks dominant. Becky Lynch was amazing. Zach and Kurt have a storyline. God, I hope it's not at the expense of the Revival. Oh, that would be terrible. Because there's some ways that they can do that. You can make Zach and Kurt the number 1 contenders without Kurt ever winning. You could do you could do a singles. I know it'd be stupid, but I could see WWE doing this, like Zach versus Scott Dawson or Dash, and then if Zach wins, they get they become number 1 contenders from that. You can do something like that, but I hope that's not where they go with that. But yeah, I was not a fan of the focus on Kurt Angle. I don't know. Oh, no Seth Rollins. I guess they're probably just saying that he was injured. Man, Seth wasn't on this show. I don't know how I feel. That brings it down on me a little bit. I'm very surprised I didn't notice that to begin with. So that's cool. Jeff Jarrett was amazing. Jeff Jarrett was great. Finn Balor, Leo was great. Yeah, I loved all of this. I hope EC3 starts doing something now. I want them to actually put these NXT stars somewhere. I don't want them to just be sitting in no man's land. Where are they going to go type of thing. Hopefully at Chamber they just decide and finally put them somewhere. Because if this goes on till Mania, oh my God, it's not going to be good. I'm not going to be a happy camper. But anyway, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you for listening to the Raw review. I will be back tomorrow night. I will actually be here tomorrow night for the SmackDown review. We had record-breaking cold last week, and that's why I wasn't here for SmackDown. So I'm going to finally do a SmackDown review again next week. Trust me, I watch SmackDown all the time. So I'm actually going to be here for SmackDown tomorrow. If you're in Whitewater, 10 o'clock, 91.7 The Edge, I'll be there. If not, find this on YouTube later that night. And yeah, I'll see you next time.
She a California living, cognac sipping, Joe blowing, candy flipping, sunshine vibe. Flew out for the show, had to pull her out the road. Now she hoping I could change her life, but I